What's up, legends? We've got an interesting video for you guys today. After my last video that I covered how to play Wraith in Season 3, I was asked if I've ever tried coaching in Apex, and someone wanted me to help them improve their game. I don't claim to be an Apex pro, but it was an honor that someone recognized my gameplay and wanted to try and learn some things from how I play. In this session, we cover a lot of fundamentals, and there could be some helpful tips for you guys too. I forgot to tell you guys, I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday night around 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'd appreciate it if you guys would stop by. I'll put the links in the description below. But yeah, let's get into this coaching vid.
So for this game, I think we should probably just do only this game because the next ones probably aren't worth watching. But it's only like 8 more minutes anyway. But
you got two TVs on your team, so that's good. That's always a bonus.
Yeah, usually.
All right, first off, what's your FOV?
I don't even know. It's standard.
You need to up your FOV to 110. That's the max. Cause like how you're playing now, it's really hard to see like peripheral. Like if somebody's pushing your left and right side, you can't really see them.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll make the targets a little smaller. Ooh, we can land on a nice R9. It'll make the targets a little smaller, but it's definitely better to be more like aware of your surroundings than kind of zoomed in to your 90 FOV, or I think it might be 70 FOV you start with.
Usually with starting out in fights, like if teammates are like starting out dropping, I usually don't run to fights immediately unless I feel I can contribute. So
yeah,
that's why I was kind of just like,
well, as you're starting this too, you're like keeping decent positioning with your team, but like you also, yeah, your guy just took damage. You also only have white armor, so in these early fights, especially as Wraith, there we go, there's some action.
In this part right here, I was saying it in game 2, so used to Destiny because melees are like overpowered in that game.
Can you go back
like,
for a second?
Yeah.
Like go back when the crypto walks in.
Okay,
but also what I was gonna say was when you're Wraith, you kind of get the feeling that obviously like you can phase out at any point in time, but you're actually at a disadvantage if you turn a corner and like a Gibby's in front of you. He has that big shield in front of you. So go ahead and stop it right here. So you see this guy has no shield, right? The R99 does reload quickly, which is fine. So you can kind of keep reloading around this wall that you're right in front of. So go ahead and like play it out like while you're pushing this guy. So that's fine. And then you kind of miss these shots here. The punch is fine too, but if I like in my eyes, I would have just like immediately maybe even switched to the Spitfire. Maybe not even.
Spit.
Yeah, one mistake that I used to kind of make a lot was not switching to your secondary. Like, you know, this guy's flesh, so even while you're running up the stairs, you could even just switch right to your Spitfire right here and just hold down.
Instead of reloading right here.
Yeah. The reload isn't bad because the R99's reload is fast, but definitely after you miss those shots and then go for the punch, I probably would have just like switched right to the Spitfire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like most memory from playing so much Destiny recently for me to like.
Because the melees are so good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're too good in Destiny. So I've been trying to like get that out of me for Apex, but
yeah,
every now and then it pops back up. Like, fuck, why did I try to melee right there?
So you do pretty much know this guy's like within melee range because you hit him for flesh for like 50 or something. So because a melee does like 30. Yeah, you do 60 here, so a melee would do like 90. You hit him for 22 more, so a melee would totally kill him. Yeah. I just would have switched to the Spitfire earlier. It might have saved your health a little bit more. So just first tip is like trust your secondary, especially when the guy's like really, really weak. If your secondary sucks and it's like a Mozambique or something, obviously you would have just probably kept the R9 out there anyway, but you totally could have even just like switched right to the Spitfire as you were running up the stairs. So this guy goes down. just got a subscription on YouTube. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Okay, so back up to where you're pushing, then let's see if we can hear anything.
Okay. Can you hear it now?
Yeah, it's really quiet.
Yeah.
Can you turn it up louder?
My desktop audio. I can't on my end. I have it at max.
Okay. So you know she has a PK.
Yep.
It just froze for a second. So, go back to when you're pushing the building again, just for a second. I'll just make kind of a stupid point, but a point worth taking.
Here we go.
So here you can't like tell what kind of character he's fighting. Go ahead and pause it for a second.
Okay.
Obviously, like you like see who it is. But another point is just listening for their sound cues. So like if it's a Bangalore inside, you'll like hear her like juggling like grenades, or it sounds like tin cans. And you know, like Pathfinder sounds like the robot. Octane, you kind of hear his metal legs. Wraith kind of, I guess, sounds like clothy, Destiny sounding material. I would kind of say. But that's just like one thing when I'm like pushing in there, because you have no idea, I guess, how many people are in there, or what character just killed him, because you don't have, you know, him calling out to you. But just being aware, because you push this shot or this fight and you see it's a Wraith, so then now you know she cues out, and go ahead and play it. And then
all I know she had a PK. That's pretty much it.
So at this point you're like, she got a PK, she's weak because she cracked her armor. I can't. It like it skips a little bit. Go back again. I just wanted to
Discord.
Can you? I was just gonna say like the slide jump around the corner. Like I think you kind of pointed out. Yeah. So like when you hit the ground, you could have like just ran and slid, and also. Sorry, I'm just like so used to like playing. Go back one more time, but you don't have to go back as far. When you're chasing her, if you know that she's the last one, you can almost like reload and then take your gun out. Like run with your hands. You're faster. You know what I'm saying? Jump this with your hands. She's not turning around. Now get your gun out, jump, slide around the corner and shoot. Like that's probably what I would have done.
So like maybe like right here when she's racing, maybe holster and
like holster your guns now and run, because you know she can't hit you because she's phasing. You know that she ran around that corner and playing super defensive. Obviously you don't want to get caught without your gun. That's a pretty good phase. The only recommendation I would have is trying to get high ground. Like you could phase around that fence. Go back one more time, like closer to the sometimes it's hard to get up there, but when you this is fine. You can play it.
Okay.
So that fence you're right next to, you could phase and jump like on that pole and go up above, because you're probably dead if your teammate's not there. Like she probably just turns around and shoots you in the back. The number one like phase tip I can give anyone is, well, first off, the phase isn't immediate. Like you have to like anticipate it. You know, before your one shot, you have to hit it, like when you know you're taking damage and you're not going to make it. And then the second tip, which I talked about in the video, is like changing their eye levels. If you're on top of the building, obviously it's best like go to the lower floor. But if you're like on the ground, like try to find a way to get high ground. And then that way, even when you're weak and they're pushing up high, maybe they're like crawling up the cliff and you can just shoot them in that animation, you know, even if you're weak.
This is some pretty bad tracking.
I mean, that was good hip fire though. Like you weren't aiming ADSing with the Spitfire. I think you kind of like took that from our firing range talk and learned that you don't just sit there and ADS with the Spitfire close range. Go back. I would ADS to start just like you did, and then finish by ADSing. Like you have him like really weak, just to like secure it, because your teammate might have like stolen that if you like, I don't know, like you're just not as reliable to hit your shots. So like, yeah, so like ADS here, now hip fire, and then now ADS. Especially when he like kind of runs around that like yellow construction pole. Was that the full 100%, or did you just drop it there? I'm just wondering. I'm just getting picky at this point, but
yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah,
it's full. Okay. I don't know if you can go further distance when you go into the phase. A lot of times when I'm like not jumping over fences and stuff, like you were jumping over fences at the start. I'll phase I'll queue while I'm portaling to get really fast. And a lot of the times I'll do that at the very start of the portal, that way that I have that 20-second delay coming back as fast as possible. Cause if you think about it, you're rotating somewhere unknown, right? So if you use your Q to go faster, you still have your portal to go back in, to like get away. But like if
delay until that cooldown comes again.
Yeah, and then also at the same time, I mean, you're the fastest legend and you have the fastest movement when you use that Q while you're using the portal. So I don't know.
Faster than Octane too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the fastest like movement speed in the game is when you're portaling and you phase. That's right. So right now, what are you thinking? You need maybe a Digithreat or a sight that you're comfortable with. You need heavy ammo. You need maybe some syringes. There's your loadout right there. So with the wingman, since it's a single fire weapon, I'm usually like only looking to keep like 80 to like 100 shots in the bag at like maximum, because like you're not gonna shoot the wingman 200 times. If you're shooting that many times, you're missing way too many shots. And then the R9, I'm comfortable with like 150.
Yeah, I've seen you run R99 with like
a ton.
Stacks.
Yeah, I do. I think I go a little excessive on the ammo and probably should pick up more grenades and stuff like that. I don't utilize grenades as much as I should. But
dude, I was the same way. I've been trying to get better at those. Caution was like the one that inspired me to try to use nades more.
Yeah, and so even your 10 cells you have right now, I feel like 10, when you get double digit cells, I feel like that's kind of a lot. Obviously certain games you don't just have the luxury of not of what you pick up. You're not just going to drop these for no one to have. It's better to have 10 cells than to have no cells. But like in the perfect world, I would say you probably want 3 batteries at least, and then maybe like 6 cells. Yeah, so you got your like grocery list. You need. I don't know if you have a light mag right now. I don't think you do.
No.
Is there a specific sight that you like on the R9 in particular?
I like the 1X. Is it the HCOG?
Yeah.
I like the hollow.
Yeah, I like the HCOG on both the wingman and the R9.
This was such a weird angle for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the shot.
Yeah, that's a weird angle. So we know he's going under you to the left, probably. Oh, that's a Wraith.
I think I die here. She was weak.
Yeah. So the only thing I would say, going back there, maybe a couple things. You kind of like push out the door. Oh, this is the very end too. All right, so we can spend a little more time on it. So every situation's different, so I can't coach you on every single fight you ever get into, but switching to the R9's fine because they're close range. You have this door to your advantage right here, and you're in this reloading animation, and you kind of like just give up your cover. I know you don't know if there's somebody behind you. Like I can't really hear if somebody's inside, but if I'm in that fight, what I'm doing is, if you back up again, is you pop that.
That door, right?
Yeah, you pop that first clip in them. Now you back up, go to the right, and you reload, and then you poke your head out, and you probably knock the Wraith with your R9, and then that Octane comes, and you're inside. Then while you're inside, probably run up to the very top and get high ground, and then you kind of fight that Octane from there. That would just be like my game sense from that fight.
Yeah, that would have been a much better decision. Yeah, just kind of came out there and just full send, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's fight.
I mean, if it's the last guy, I mean, obviously you want to treat every fight kind of like it's the last or whatnot, but you kind of had better positioning than she did because she didn't have any cover, and you kind of just like gave it away and jumped over the. You did a nice little slide reload animation. I like that because that's totally what I suggest you do when you don't have cover. Like you're in that like fight, there's no cover at all, and you're in that reload animation, and you jump and you slide while you're reloading. That way you're harder to hit. What I'll challenge you to do is get a little bit more comfortable with switching to the other gun too. Like even there, it might have been even faster to just press the 2 key and then start spamming your wingman right at that girl at the door. And then as the Octane pushes, you switch to your R9 and reload while you're running like up the stairs, and then you're kind of like ready to fight the Octane while he's pushing you.
Yeah, the other games I feel like probably weren't even worth watching. I don't know.
With this building, one thing I don't like really ever landing up top. I actually don't like this building. I like the other construction building. It's bigger, the other one. And there's a little more
one.
Yeah, there's a little more like room to maneuver around, because like if you land and you don't get anything, you have a little bit more like escapability at the other construction site than this one. But yeah, if you're landing here and your team's like coming here, try to like look on the ledges on the side and see like weapons or armor on the side, and just land in one of the levels on the side. PK there. You're gonna keep the EVA 8 though. Oh, you got the PK! Let's go!
Yeah, let's try it, but
let's do it.
I can't remember what happened.
Here we go. I like how you're using the door though. Like you need to like totally use doors in this game. And like even closing doors too. Like you didn't have time to do it, but like if you had time for that other team, you could have like closed the door obviously and like hang by the door.
Sure.
Yeah, that phase is fine. Yeah, you can't really do much about that, but I would have just suggested going up to the top floor, but there's really not much you can do with that. Was that 2 different teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a nice, like, using the doors. Like, you kind of learned from your mistake from the last game. You use this, like, instead of just running straight out there, you're using that to kind of pop some shots. Have to turn and fight this guy. The armor swap's smart. He's right there. And then by this time, that other team or other guy pushes in.
Damn it.
Yeah, because you still have, I think you still have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 seconds to go up to the top. You don't have your portal because you just used it. But if you did have your portal, a lot of times you're just fast as lightning if you pop your portal and then